selling behind the then on the macho like Randy. The chopper go out to the granny. This nigga pull up your bandit. The killers understand it.
Hey everyone, Nukin here from the Republic, bringing you another How to Do Heroic Tank Raid video. Before I get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to Vader for making me a sick intro. I'm feeling pretty baller right now. I've never had an intro before, so thanks again for that. So let's get started. So this is a special edition episode. You may have seen my How to Use Droids in Phase 2 video, and this is a new team that has come out of the woodworks. It's been recently popularized by Denzo G. It involves a Zader lead and preferably a Zeta on Darth Sidious as well. The Tusken Shaman, Ewok Elder, and Phasma play a supporting role on this team, and we're going to run through this video in a similar fashion. I'm going to run through the mods that I use. They're not the best mods, but they have been working pretty well. I'm doing about 3 to 3.5 million damage. Going to try to push for 4 to 5 million pretty soon. And after that, I will be showing some gameplay footage in ×2 speed and giving you some tips and strategies on how to use this team effectively. Hope you enjoyed the video. Alright, so let's get into the mods here, starting with Darth Vader. So disclaimer, he should use a crit damage set. I just don't have too many of those mods available. Speed arrow, you want to use speed arrows on all of these guys. For the triangle, at the very least, you want to use a crit damage triangle with Darth Vader. You're going to be timing that advantage up with Phasma to Culling Blade and get a guaranteed crit. For the cross, you do want to use potency. The raid bosses just have more tenacity than those heroes you face in arena, and you want to land those dots, which stand for damage over time. Moving on to Darth Sidious, speed set with a 2-piece potency set, speed arrow of course, and potency secondaries. If you can get potency as a secondary on any of these mods, that's going to be good. For the triangle, you do want to run crit chance to get those 2 extra damage over time dots. On his AoE, you need to actually crit, and sometimes you can't time Phasma's advantage up with Darth Sidious and Darth Vader. For the cross, you do want to use a health or protection cross. You could even probably use a potency cross, but the Zeta helps a lot, and he usually lands all his debuffs. For Tusken Shaman, so Tusken Shaman and Ewok Elder and Phasma are more support characters, so they don't really need to have anything else but speed and potency. So for the triangles, you can use defense, health, protection, anything that's going to help them survive till enrage. For the crosses, for the cross for Tusken Shaman, you want to use potency because he has 2 dots that he needs to apply, and you don't want those to get resisted. That's what helps you get to those big crits at the very end of the raid. Ewok Elder is another support character. So you want to use speed sets, speed arrows, sort of defensive triangles. He's not a big hitter. He's not going to be doing any sorts of damage. He's just there to, cleanse your team, give your team turn meter, do a supporting role, of course. You can use a health or protection cross. Probably health actually would be better. I'm just using what I have. And lastly, Phasma speed set, 2-piece potency set, speed arrow. Trying to aim for those potency secondaries. For the triangle, you can use, crit chance, crit, offense. She doesn't really do that much damage, but it helps a little bit. And for the cross, you do want potency because she has 2 debuffs that she needs to land. Alright, so we made it to the gameplay footage. So I'm going to show you how I use this team based off how they're modded. My Darth Sidious always ends up going first. I start off with an AoE attack, which stands for Area of Effect attack. I then start using Tusken Shaman to hit the main hull. I try to squeeze in as much hits with Tusken Shaman on the main hull as possible if I can help it. I use Vader to do his Force Crush and start putting more debuffs down, more of those dots, those damage over time debuffs. And Phasma to do speed down to make sure all those turrets are slowed down and it's easier to get the Morale 2 bonus. I'm hitting the top turret and focusing on that and making sure that the top turret doesn't go off. You don't want that top turret going off if you can help it. Even though Ewok Elder can revive one of your heroes, you should try to prevent that damage if you can. Once the turrets start getting low in the yellowish red range, they're going to be killed on their own when they take their turn, so you want to switch targets. Still squeeze in damage with Tusken Shaman, of course, but switch targets to the turret with the most health and finish that off. and try to get the morale 2 bonus. It's not necessary, but it helps. So morale 2 bonus is the 25% speed buff while the tank is toppled, which is good. It's a percentage, so the better your mods are, the better, the more benefit you're getting from that morale 2 bonus. And make sure to do speed down while the tank is toppled, so you can stay and hit the tank a little bit longer, which is good. And here's the combo, by the way. So Tusken Shaman does offense up, Phasma does advantage up, and then you Culling Blade Toss. Boom. So there's 300k, and that's without crit damage mods. So the damage you can do even more damage than that. When the tank is untoppled, you want to kind of repeat the same technique. So you start off by putting the debuffs on the tank and focusing on the top turret. So Sidious goes area of effect attack, Vader goes Force Crush. So now we have the debuff spread on those top turrets. The side turrets are going to kill themselves off based off just taking a turn and taking damage from those damage over times. Debuffs. Whenever the tank does its set of debuffs, you cleanse it with Ewok Elder like so, and keep focusing and pushing forward, right? So more hits from the main hall with Tusken Shaman. The top turret and the left turret are quite low. They're going to die when they take their turn. And you're focusing, you switch targets to the most healthy target, the most healthy turret, and that just happens to be the turret on the right this time. So we're going to keep hitting that turret right now. And we're going to try to get morale 2 bonus again, which is about to occur. Now that I know that those top turrets are going to die on their own, I can switch targets to the main hall and not have to worry about them. And just squeezing a little bit more damage wherever I can. So now the tank is toppled again. One thing to note is here's Vader. He could have blade tossed, but I chose to wait to get a guaranteed crit with Phasma. So here we go. So now it's going to be a guaranteed crit, and I can blade toss, which is good. You're not going to get offense up to time with Vader and Phasma every single time. It's because, you know, there's different speeds of the characters and different cooldowns of the abilities, and you know, RNG plays a role. It's just, don't try to get the perfect run. It's not going to happen. It's probably, you know, 1 in 1,000 or, you know, something. It's not as common as you might think. Another thing to note is, see how Sidious was able to do his area of effect attack right away. Even though that attack goes off cooldown while the tank is toppled, you want to save it, keep using the basic attacks, so you can use it right away after the tank is untoppled to try to get the tank toppled again. Okay, that was a bit of a mouthful. So again, when you want to cleanse those debuffs with Ewok Elder, that helps a lot in preventing a lot of damage. And we're doing the same technique. We're hitting the top turret. We're spreading out the dots, and the side turrets are getting killed on their own. And here's another key point. You're not going to get a Culling Blade, advantage up, blade toss every single topple, so that's okay. Don't be afraid to do what I just did there. You know, it's like I said, it's hard to topple everything perfectly, and it's all about really just getting to the in range, and then when you can consistently get there, then you're good to go. I mean, I wasn't even able to get all 5 heroes to last to the in range. We just lost Ewok Elder on turn 5, which is okay. You know, depending on how strong your guild is. Like if you're doing, especially if you're doing a Zerg, you probably don't have time to retreat and play and roll the dice and try to get better RNG. You're probably going to commit to this type of hit, which is good because, you know, this attack has a lot of potential. I think it did about 3 to 3.5 million with this attack. So let's to finish off the phase, the tank is gonna untopple, and we're gonna repeat the process. We saved Sidious's AoE attack, so we can try to retopple the tank again. And I think I'm able to get one more topple. Ewok Elder doesn't do a lot of damage, but he plays a key role in healing and reviving teammates and giving your team turn meter. So with him gone, it's quite hard really maintain the flow of the team. So we're focusing on the top turret, and we're hoping that we can get one more topple out of this tank. We're squeezing more dots with Tuscan Shaman, and we just lost him. That's okay. I think we're down to about 2 turns till in range. Some dots. Focusing on the top turret. If you think you can't topple the tank, you shouldn't be doing this, by the way. You should just start focusing on the main hall and commit to doing the most damage that you can, die fighting sort of thing. But I'm pretty sure I thought that I could retopple the tank one more time. It's cutting it close. Okay, that's really ballsy right there. And okay, I think I'm going to squeeze a little bit more damage. Yep. This is almost greedy at this point. And we got it. Okay, good. So there we go. And now the tank is toppled, and we can do one last blade toss while toppled, which is great. Boom. I think that was about, unfortunately that wasn't a crit, but I think that was about 700 to 800k there. And that is basically how you use this technique. I'm always improving how I'm playing it. I'm enjoying playing this team. It's one of the hardest teams to play right now. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I'll try to get to you. Hope you enjoyed the video.